When it comes to organ donation, transplants have a much better success rate when the race of the donor and recipient are the same. But herein lies a serious concern. There are far fewer non-white donors. Well, joining us to share his donor journey is Frank Ramirez, Good Samaritan kidney donor and founder of the Transplant Strong 5K. Good to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making a life-saving decision that I'm sure was not an easy one to arrive at.
No. It's something you discuss with your family. It's something that, I didn't take lightly, but I think I had that support. And that was very important for me, having my family on board, especially my wife. Just having her every step of the way just helped make my decision a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It's obviously a major decision to make, but when you have your family and that support, it makes it much easier to move forward.
Now, it sounds like there was a convergence of other experiences through friends that you heard other people becoming donors or needing organ transplantation, which really sort of spurred you on to actually becoming a donor yourself. Did you realize at the time that your donation would be as unique as it is and as scarce?
I actually, I was under the impression, you donate to a particular person. And when I started this process to become what they called a Good Samaritan donor, I did not have anybody in mind. I thought, okay, I'll help the one person, but it turned out because I was able to donate, it started a chain. And it actually, on the same date of my surgery, there were actually 6 surgeries. So we had 3 donors and 3 recipients that were able to get kidneys, and it was just such an amazing experience that I knew nothing about.
That's incredible.
The ability for them to, my donor, her name is Laura, a mother of 4. She had a donor, but they were not compatible. But because I was compatible, her donor actually still wanted to donate. Because Laura was getting a kidney as well. So that just, again, it kind of snowballed into having 3 people on the same day.
Yes.
That was just amazing that, started 5 in the morning. I was the first one, and
Wow.
just everything happened that same day.
That's incredible. So are you living with 1 kidney now?
Yes, so I donated my right kidney, and so I have my left kidney, and it's, I had basically 2 years after so December of last year was sort of my graduation from the donation. I get you got follow-ups a week, 2 weeks, 6 months, a year. MUSC is with you there the whole time, every step of the way, and to make sure you're healthy. And so they make sure your numbers are okay, and they make sure that you're doing well and staying healthy.
So are you coming up on 3 years now?
In December, it will be my 3rd year.
In December. So has life changed for you, your lifestyle?
Overall, no. I think, I'm a part of this amazing thing. That's changed. But health-wise, my daily routine, what I eat, everything, none of that has changed. I was out of work for about 2 weeks. Recovery was about 6 weeks total. I was actually surprised how quickly the recovery was.
Now, you said that you were also operated robotically, which is more precise. Is that right? Or laparoscopic?
Laparoscopically,
okay.
Yes. So I have 2 small incisions, and then they pulled it out of my belly button.
Oh, wow.
So that made the recovery, I was expecting, I think that during the conversations to be there 2 or 3 days. I went home the next day feeling good. They wanted to make sure I was doing well, so they encouraged me to walk. And so I was walking up and down the halls.
That's amazing. And I think that's a misnomer for a lot of people, that they don't realize how quick the recovery can actually be and how you can survive with just 1 kidney. And that is one of the organs that is in most need. But I have to read out the statistic. Only about 35% of all recovered organs come from non-white patients, even though 60% are in need. So the balance there is a bit off. So I'm sure for the recipient of your kidney, that was a huge godsend and a rare one at that. What would your advice be to others who are either on the fence or just not wanting to consider organ donation at all?
I think, if you're healthy and willing, I would go forward. If you're curious about how healthy you are, try to become a kidney donor, because the battery of tests, they're going to make sure that you're healthy enough and strong enough to go through this process. I think what I always hear, in the transplant groups is, kidney or living donors live longer than non-donors. And of course, people think, well, how is that even possible? It's like, well, when you think about every test that donors have to go through, they make sure you're, in a good place to donate. But again, I think if you're healthy, if you're strong, if you're willing to help, I would definitely encourage you to at least examine
And here in South Carolina, 1,500 people are in need of a kidney. So just keep that in mind. 60% of 1,500 are also part of the minority group. So really, it's incumbent for the community to come together on that. Now, you started a 5K. It's called Transplant Strong 5K and 5 miler. It's happening Saturday, October 28th at Cane Bay Elementary.
Yes.
So this is a way to help fundraise and raise awareness. And
yes, and encourage folks to donate. It supports the MESC Transplant Center and Living Donor Institute. The Institute actually supports donors who are, I actually am a federal employee, so I was able to use special leave to donate.
Right.
That's one of a great benefit, but I know not everyone has that ability. So the Institute can support folks considering donating, everything from transportation, but I know some people maybe have the time off, but they don't get paid. But, the Institute can offset some of those costs to encourage more donors and support those recipients, of course. They have a lot of costs in medication and the recovery. So it's just, again, a way that, I'm just a grateful patient. I had such an amazing experience with MUSC, and I just wanted to find a way to help.
I think you're starting a chain of help from this point forward. Thank you so much, Frank, for sharing your journey and your story with us. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. We're back in 2 minutes.